I have never had a career plan. I'm opportunistic. I've always, I've jumped on things that I have felt were the right thing for me at various points in time, which has brought me across a number of industries, many different types of jobs, and it has worked for me. And every job I've had has been more interesting and satisfying and fun than the previous one, and I hope that that's going to continue.
Kerstin Cooley has been around money and investments throughout her career, from the Silicon Valley of the early 90s to the investment company she runs today. What makes some ideas fly? And what should you as an entrepreneur think about? And what does the future for investment industry hold? Let's find out. Kerstin Cooley is in the house. It's not a walk in the park, even though it takes place over a coffee. Okay, coffee for you.
Tackar, thanks.
So these are exciting times for you as an investor. What keeps you awake at night right now?
I was blessed with very good sleep, and I have a tendency to go to bed way too late in the evening. So as soon as I close my eyes, I fall asleep. However, if I wouldn't be able to sleep, it would be agonizing over our portfolio companies. There's always something, a crisis to deal with, something I could have done more, a bunch of emails I haven't responded to, something happening.
And do you find that has the investment business changed at all over the years that you've been part of it?
VC side, or on the capital side, or the access to capital side, a lot of things have changed. I mean, the Swedish VC industry went through a really rough patch after the last internet bubble. There were a lot of VC companies around, and most of them disappeared after 2000. So when we started more 5 years ago, there were basically no one between the angels and a handful of big VCs. For the past 2 to 3 years, we've seen a number of investors popping up, both more financial types and also founders that have sold their businesses and decided to invest. And I think it's healthy to have a good variety of investors in the market. So, there's super angels, there are a bunch of new seed funds, there's crowdsourcing. There are much more means available to Scandinavian founders now than there has been in the last 10 years.
So, as an investor, what are you looking for primarily today?
It's all about the people. They have to be super tenacious, hardworking, a little delusional and crazy to believe that they can do anything. And whatever hits them, just pick up and keep going.
Okay. So, as an entrepreneur or a startup company, what do you have to think about when you approach investment?
I think that companies or founders should try and survive as long as possible bootstrapping.
Okay.
You will be in a much better position and have much better negotiation power towards the investor the longer you have made it without taking in external capital. And lots of founders, they see the investor as the magic bullet to scaling, but investors they require fairly quick results. So you get less flexibility in trying things out as soon as you get them on board. I would also scrutinize the investor as much as they scrutinize you. So talk to their portfolio companies, find out how they work with the companies, how helpful are they, and don't just go for the highest financial bid. You're going to be in the same boat for a long time, so you have to like each other and have fun together. That's very important. And then, of course, don't accept at any terms. Try and negotiate, and always try to have two parties in the mix. Of course, makes you more versatile in having to give up on terms you don't like. You have to work hard. I mean, it's you're never going to get around that. But it's easy. It's I think today easier to raise money for an idea than it has been ever before, and it's okay to be an entrepreneur today. It's so.
But can you give us some insider tips about this has not been touched yet? This is where I would look.
Well, one interesting space where things have not been done and that I think could be on the rise is GovTech. which has the potential to be as big as fintech or health tech, in my view. The U.S. government alone spends $7 trillion. So it's if you can find small niches. I mean, it's a space that investors typically have avoided because the sales cycles are very long and opaque. But there are startups that are dabbling there and showing that they can get sales cycles down to maybe 3 months, and it is possible to build a business. So that's one area, for example, where there's lots of potential. It feels a little bit boring, but there's lots to be done in it.
Yeah.
Another area, of course, is artificial intelligence, the buzzword of the latest years. It's almost annoying because it's in every pitch deck I see, even though the company isn't really doing it. But the interesting part is, of course, that it will touch everything in the future. So it's going to be mind-blowing. I mean, we can't even comprehend how it's going to affect our lives in the future. It's going to revolutionize everything, I think. And autonomous vehicles is one subset of AI, of course, that is really going to happen. And we just don't know yet. We can't even comprehend how that will affect our lives.
Yeah.
So I think we will all be investing in AI in the future.
Is there anything that stood out for you in your career, that's anyone or anything that made a huge difference in your career?
Well, one person who have meant a lot to me, of course, is Kai Hed, our co-founder and majority owner of More. I've worked with him many times over 20 years that we've known each other, and he almost believed more than myself in me when I was a young, hardworking, fresh employee. He has given me a lot of big opportunities and supported me along the way, which has been very helpful. I have never had a career plan. I'm opportunistic. I've always, I've jumped on things that I have felt were the right thing for me at various points in time, which has brought me across a number of industries, many different types of jobs, and it has worked for me. And every job I've had has been more interesting and satisfying and fun than the previous one, and I hope that that's going to continue.
Absolutely. Listen, coffee's finished, so thanks a lot for taking your time.
Thank you.